Hunkpain Gaming is there with another video about Warframe. The reason I started the video like this because we're building a glaive, Orvius to be exact. Any weapon is a circle with sharp edges. You can throw it. That is a glaive. We know what a glaive is. We're not stupid. I know, guys, you know. But for the beginners and new players and the players that doesn't even play Warframe yet, and this video will make them play Warframe, I don't know. So I'm trying to give as much information possible, my friend. So to understand this weapon, my friend, this weapon is a Dax signature weapon. Everyone knows Dax in the new war. I'm not gonna say anything so I don't spoil it. Maybe players didn't play the new war yet, but Dax is a signature weapon. I don't know why it's a signature weapon for him, but it is what it is. Actually, I know, because he throw and catch it. I got you there, guys, right? But this weapon has very special features, guys. This weapon have like 2 unique features, and it's a bit hard to use. Let's say 90% of the players underestimating this weapon. They don't like to use it because I think, in my opinion, they just doesn't know how to play it or use it. Okay, so that's why you don't find a lot of players. Like, maybe I find one during my career in Warframe playing Orvius, guys. It is very hard. So let's get to understand this weapon. This weapon deals primary slash damage, can be wielded with a single-handed secondary weapon like Nukur, like Epitaph, whatever, if you want to go to statue chance stuff. As well, if you hold the melee weapon, you will throw normal like this. Hold on. That's the normal one. There you go. Briefly. This is briefly. Okay. There you go. This is the briefly. Okay. And if it flies into in the head of enemies, it hits 3 enemies. For example, if you throw it, let me show you. If I throw it like this, you see, it is not explosion damage. You see this? The enemies in the air. Look at this. You see this? But if you throw it up in the air, it has to be briefly. You see this? Boom. It hits 3 enemies. You see that? There you go. Look at this. Okay? Don't worry, I'm gonna explain this in all the details. This explosion of the weapon, I will show you how to trigger everything. When this weapon detonates, it proc a guarantee cold. And there is no damage fall off. Okay? Holding the melee weapon performs a charge throw which can bounce up to 3 times and travel 30 meters, guys, before returning to the user, damaging anyone in its path and milling while the glaive is in mid-air, flight, commands it to return. So if you, for example, charge it and throw, if you melee, it's gonna come back. Okay? Simple as that. The primary and secondary weapon can be used, no problem. The throw, as I said, it gives primary cold. I'm reading this from the wiki, so I give you exact information. Throwing glaive has above average critical multiplier. It is silent, of course, it's a melee weapon. But they talk about the explosion. It's not normal for melee weapon. Heavy attacks while the glaive is in mid flight produce 4-meter explosion and forces the glaive to return. Explosion does not need direct line of sight to damage to deal damage, and will penetrate walls, as this weapon doesn't have the punch through, but this one penetrate walls. Explosion will inflict self stagger, which means this. When you it explodes like this, boom, that's how it is. Okay, so this weapon can use combo fury, power throw, quick return, volatile rebound, volatile whirlwind, and so on. The advantages of this weapon: it has a high disposition, above average crit multipliers, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Okay, it is not as powerful as the glaive prime, but not every player, guys, learn this about Warframe. Not every player want to use meta weapons and powerful weapons that can kill everything so easy. There is players, and I respect and salute them for that. Okay, they like to use unique weapons that been forgotten, or a signature weapon of a legendary characters in Warframe. For example, this weapon is a signature weapon of Dax, God bless, and players just love to use this weapon for his memory. So, I just spoiled something there, but whatever. Okay, we are so far behind that. Okay, so, first thing you need to learn about any glaive weapon. This is the glaive weapon. When you throw it, okay, look at the mouse. So I'm throwing the weapon with a melee attacks. This is what I'm doing, like this. But I'm holding. There you go. Boom. Okay. Now if I want to now it's going, right? Like this. Now if it's going anywhere. Okay. Now there you go, like this. When it reaches the enemy I want or the spot I want, I hit this button, the mid button for heavy attacks. You see that mouse there? So what I'm doing, boom, kaboom, boom, kaboom. You see, I am, look, without explosion. You see, look. You see that? Look. Boom. Now I'm gonna detonate it. You see that? The difference? Look, without, with. See this? See that? Boom, boom. Here without. See that? Boom. Boom. Okay? So, you normal melee, when it reaches the point where you want, wherever you desire, where his enemies is most of the time, you detonate it by using heavy attack. But this weapon have something very, very special, which is picking up enemies in the air. The easy way I find that you can do this is very simple. Right click. Wait. There you go. Boom. Okay. So what you need to do is, because this weapon, this build I have right now, the reason I couldn't do it from first time, the build I did is wind up speed. Okay. So the weapon goes very fast. You barely can control it. So for maximum damage. So you do like this. Hold on. You have to be, okay, here you go. The Orvius is on top of his head and then detonates. You see that? Hold on. There you go. You can master it over time. Okay? Look at that. So it's on top of his head. Okay, hold on. And how much you press the melee weapon is the key. Okay? If you press it too long or too fast, it will just hit the enemy. Okay? Like this. You see? You need to be up. You see that? There you go. Now the trick, where is the trick? The trick is, my friend, is that you can detonate it using the same button. I will show you right now. And by the way, this is level 175 heavy corrupted gunners. So if I do like this, it is in the air, I can detonate it. Boom. See that? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Boom. You see that? I can detonate it. Kaboom. Boom. It takes some practice, but 100% worth it. There you go. Hold on. Okay, move a bit back. You see, I told you the build just doesn't really let you do it, but you got the idea. On top of his head, kaboom, he's up in the air, kaboom, you can explode it. And now you understand almost everything about the weapon. So you know that when you throw it, it's gonna bounce in 3 enemies. You know that you can pick enemies in the air with it and they're gonna detonate, but you're gonna give the weapon and so on. But we're gonna be using not the picking up thing right now. We're gonna be using the explosion of heavy attack, which is this. Kaboom. There you go. This is what we're gonna be doing. Okay, this is what the build about. So let me bring them back. I hate this void sling. Okay, there we go. And these enemies like this weapon likes you to have some distance all the time. Okay, this weapon is not like it is so good in damage, but it's not top DPS damage. Okay, there you go. Enemies are dead. Kaboom, and that one is dead. Okay, so now before I show you the build, my friend, and so on and so on, we need to test the weapon, because many of Warframe veterans right there gonna say, oh, you did damage to those enemies because this enemies applies to stealth damage. They're right at some point, but that's why we're going to where we're going to Steel Path, which is the end game in Warframe, as you know already, and I've been telling you most of the time. There is no end game in Warframe except Fashion Frame, Dojo, and Relay, and whatever. Not Relay, Dojo and Orbiter fashions, and so on. So, why the Steel Path is so important if you're a new player and you don't know what you're talking about? Enemy level is going to be plus 100, so enemies that level 10 going to be 110. Health, shield, and armor going to be plus 250%. And resource drop chance and mod drop chance going to be plus 100%. And everyone wanting the Steel Path, not because the enemies are boosted, because the weapons are way higher than the enemies right now, but they want it for the resources and the mods. Where we're gonna go? We're gonna go to the end game, as again, what I mean with end game is the highest available mobs, and now they're even stronger because there is the Eximus power right now, the double health shields, and the new buff they got. Okay, let's go. So the reason is saying, oh, why is using Nidus? Why is he not using Mirage, Eclipse, something to build the weapon more damage, or multipliers, or I don't know, and this and that. I know, guys, you have that in your mind. So here is the reason. I'm using Nidus for one reason and one reason only, guys. I'm using it so I don't boost the weapon in any way, so you can use any frame and twist the weapon into your desires. I think that's clear and fair enough. So I don't want to make a build that synergize the build with my liking. Like, for example, if I make a build, for example, let's take an example. If I make a build that works only with not works only, like it works so good with Mirage, Eclipse, by Helmnith or just by Mirage, or Octavia, okay, or whatever, I feel that I made you obliged, or I push you to 2 million. As you saw, we did 2 million crit, yellow crit. I feel like I made you obliged to use it with Eclipse. No, that's not right, and I would never, guys. It's not. I would never make the first builds of weapons like that. When we run out of ideas, we're gonna start doing like, for example, if I make every build for Cronan, as example, I will tell you, okay, guys, we're gonna synergize Cronan with this and this and this. It's ideas. I'm gonna give you ideas, but I will not make builds specially for a specific frame or that. Not yet. I need to be sure every Tenno have a chance in the channel to find his favorite builds, and a build that doesn't require him a lot of platinum and so on. Okay, it will require him mods, which he can get them in the game. Okay, and so on. I have a guide in the channel if you want to make some platinum as well. You can check it out. This build, my friend, as I said, without helmet or any frame boost. This build is without a Riven as well. Okay, so you don't need to worry about your platinum. And I try to minimize the form I use in this weapon and make it as powerful as it is. Okay, there we go. Now remember, this weapon will be directed to the first enemy. So for example, let's say there is 3 enemies standing behind each others, and you try to hit the third one, and there is big distance between them that the explosion cannot reach. Okay, it will hit the first one despite that you wanted to hit the third one. Okay, so for example, this enemy is in front of me. If I try to hit the ones from behind, only the explosion will reach. That's why I built this weapon in explosion heavy attack build. Okay, so you kill as much enemies possible in no time, because if you build it for the light throw, you will have a lot of issues. And to be honest, nobody will be like, let's pick enemies in the air. Oh my god, wait, let's pick enemies in the air. Here we go. Oh my god, let's go detonate him. 1 million. You saw that 1 million, guys? Yeah, I know, but we need to kill as much enemy. DPS matters, guys. Damage per second, my friend. Everyone want to be top DPS in the game, so when you press tab, you see yourself, you are like outplaying everyone in the room. That's how it is, guys. That's why we make builds. That's why we enhance builds and so on. And now remember, I've been reading the whole fixes and stuff, and the status chance been nerfed, or I don't know. They saying like, and Reddit talks about the weapons now proc the highest based on the status, but still I didn't feel that impact yet. Let me know, guys, what you think about what they did to the melee weapons. The melee weapons will never die. You know, guys, let's be honest. The melee weapons are so powerful for many reasons. The mods, to be honest, the mods of melee weapons are crazy. And you always can go boom, 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 boom. Not like, for example, primary or secondary, you will have like every single time to look for ammo. Or, for example, there is a reload time. Or there is this weapon does AoE. This is single targeting. And so on. Here we go. This is Angus. Can we pick Angus in the air? I'm risking my life here. But can I pick Angus in the air? Hold on, Angus. Angus. I never tried this, guys. I've survived with this weapon for like 1 hour 20 minutes, but I didn't think to pick Angus in the air. Wait. Angus, can I pick you in the air? No. Angus. Angus. Ah, no. I cannot pick him. You see, guys, he have a circle on top of his head, but I cannot pick him. No, he cannot be picked, guys, so don't try. It's nice that I have some crazy ideas when I'm here, guys, making the video. Okay, here we go. He got a bit tanky there because there was a drone. As you can see, guys, this weapon have no issue at all killing these enemies. And the reason I go to mod, guys, so I show you this weapon, what it can do in survival missions where you have to worry about life support. So if the weapon is sustaining life support, so good, means the weapon doing so great, especially if it's explosion weapon like this one. I don't blame single target weapons. For example, you cannot expect Cronen to do great in life support, yet it clears a lot of enemies, but this weapon have a favor of AoE damage, which clears life support so fast. Alright, so you need to understand the weapon. Is it AoE weapon or single target weapon? And then you can judge it for life support. For in this condition, this weapon is AoE, so I see it's doing very well, and I know it's doing very well because I did survive with it for a long time. So let's go, guys. Extraction time, enough. We tested, we proved our point. The point after all, what is the point after all, guys? The point after all is the weapon kills. Okay, never leave anything behind. So the weapon kills, the weapon does great damage, and you don't need anything else, guys. There is no philosophy of replacing this, replacing that. I have a better build, I have this. Why don't you use this frame? Why don't you use, as I said, guys, oh, Vor just spawned. Anyway, so the idea here is creating a build that satisfies your needs, kills everything for you without any problem. That's my goal. Then twisting that build for faction mods, adding synergy of other frame. That's for another build and another time. I am a new channel in Warframe. I want to go from bottom up. I don't want to say to you, let's go, faction mods, this frame, synergy, and I twist your gameplay into my likings. I will not do that as a start. I will make you builds that you can use with any frame you want and any synergy you're using. Doesn't matter, you're a beginner or veteran. This Warframe is never about I am a legendary 2 or I am mastery 1. No. You can swipe your credit card and become legendary 2 easy. But remember, I go step by step. Okay, let's go. The build that we used, here we go. And I want, first of all, before showing the build, I want to salute everyone that made it this far, 18 minutes, not the ones that boom directly to the build. They don't even get to see the weapon and learn about the weapon. They just see the build and they will come back. I promise you, they will come back saying we don't do the same damage. They will come back in the first video and they'll understand. Okay, so starting with Nidus Prime. Why I'm showing you Nidus Prime? You can copy the build here if you want to, but that's not for that. So we're using here the Arcane Fury, 60% chance for a 180% melee damage to melee weapons for 18 seconds, which is good. We're using Swift Momentum, 30% heavy attack wind up speed, 6 combo duration, that doesn't really matter. And you can switch the attack speed Arcane Strike with the Arcani. Hold on. Arcani. Not. I have one. Wait. Arachne. Hold on. Arachne. Here it is. This one on wall latch, 150% damage for 30 seconds if you want to boost the weapon a bit more, but I didn't want to use it, so I don't give you something, oh, I need to worry about Fury and Arakani now and whatever. So no, I didn't do that. So before Orvius, we used the Panzerwurfpfeiler to help us proc very fast the viral. As you know, viral goes into like stacks into the enemy and so on. So this pet will help you proc viral and will keep you alive. It doesn't matter what frame you're using, you can copy the build. And if you wonder how to get the Panzerwurfpfeiler, there is a video on the channel. Okay, we're using Naramon, but doesn't really matter. Okay, but because we're not keeping combo mines. So Astral Twilight stance, orbiting slashes and lashing strikes. That doesn't matter because we're not using normal attacks, but we need to use it. Amalgam Organ, 85% critical damage, 60% heavy attack, wind up speed, very fast, guys. Sacrificial Steel for 180% critical chance, 2 times for heavy attacks. Killing Blow, 120% heavy damage on heavy attack, 60% heavy attack, wind up speed, even faster. Power Throw, +2 punch through on consecutive shots, +1, but that doesn't really matter, the punch through for now. Max 3 stacks, plus 100% throw damage. Volatile Quick Return, -4 bounce, +3 blast radius. Now we have 7 blast radius, plus 100% chance to explode on bounce. Disables punch through. That's why I said to you +2 doesn't really matter. Corrupted Charge, +30 initial combo, so we're gonna have 2-time initial combo, +50%, -50% combo duration, which we don't care. Primed Fever Strike for Toxin, and a Primed pressure point for 150% melee damage. Now there is a question right here saying, oh, why this build is not viral? For those players doesn't understand what I did in this build, very simple. This weapon guarantee proc of cold, okay, and this weapon gonna hit with toxin and slash and puncture and impact and whatever. So the most important is the toxin and the cold, right? So the weapon gonna be guaranteed 100% cold, so we don't need to worry about the cold because this weapon have a very low statue chance. Okay, so we put it with toxin. So every time we proc toxin, it's gonna mix with the viral in the enemy and it's gonna create a viral. And because this weapon have a low statue chance, we don't need to worry so much about viral because Panzerwurfpfeiler will provide us with viral. So this weapon will provide us with cold. So from there we keep going. Okay, for the players that doesn't know what cold does in Warframe, cold damage is one of the 4 primary elements damage types. It performs well against the standard shields used by most corpus and so on and so on. So an alloy animal and whatever, and even high level greenier units and so on. Okay, the cold, it freezes enemies and it reduces their fire rate and attack speed, I guess, by 25% and so on. Okay, simple as that. It slows enemy technically and reduce their attack speed or fire rate if they're using heavy weapon, so they easily and so on. There you go, 5 Fever Strike, you know already. Primed Pressure Point for melee damage. Now, if you want to change some things, you can switch a Primed pressure point with the condition overload. That is your call. If you don't like the power throw because it removes your punch through, you can use the blood rush for 80% critical chance. If you don't like, you can use the gladiator might, still a good option. If you want, you can use even the carnice. If you really want to try some stuff around, you can use the primed no, you can use this is, guys, Primed Smite Corrupted if you're going against Corrupted. So as you can see here, I made for you a build that you can twist the things into your likings. For the players that thinking about changing things and twisting things around in this weapon, I would say if you have a Riven with initial combo, like critical chance, critical damage, initial combo, or critical damage, melee damage, critical combo, critical chance, initial combo, and critical damage minus finisher attacks, of course, you can switch it with this one. If you have, let's say, maybe a Riven with Toxin, you can switch it with Primal Fever Strike. If you really have a very powerful Riven and you want like critical chance, critical damage, and minus finish, you can change it with Power Throw if you really want, or Volatile Return. That is totally up to you. Okay, so the build, we're gonna name it Heavy like Navy. Okay. Okay, I just come up with the name, guys. I didn't prepare it or predict it or whatever. So guys, that's the build, that's the test, that's the explanation, that's the beginner guide and everything. The reason for that video takes so long is I explained you everything, so you come out from this video understanding a lot of stuff. Where you test the weapons, how you test the weapons, how you figure the weapons, what things. At least if you don't want to build this weapon, it doesn't matter, but at least you come with a lot of informations that will help you in your journey in the game if you're a beginner. If you made it this far, I want to say thank you so much, guys, for your patience with me. And I want to say thank you so much for every channel that's supporting this channel from the very beginning. It means a lot, guys. So if you like the channel, if you like the videos, hit that subscribe button. Don't hesitate and don't hold it back, because we have a goal in building all the weapons, all the fashions, and everything. It just takes time. That's why this channel have a long life, baby, and so on. So hit like if you like, dislike if you dislike. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this weapon, about this build and everything. And if you need any help or questions, I'm gonna be happy to answer them. Guys, stay safe. We have a Discord link as well in description. Feel free to join us in Discord. Oh my god, this guy talks a lot. Let me get out, guys, because I can sit here and make video for 3-5 hours, guys. Guys, I'll miss you. Stay safe and peace.